Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriya Nashtagraheshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on nectar of instruction, text number 8. So continuing with Prabhupada's purport. So the essence of all the knowledge, all the instructions is to remember Krishna 24 hours a day. That's it. Now, how to do that, that's been explained. And why to do that, that's explained. And Prabhupada says, when one makes Vrindavan his residence, he should take shelter of an advanced devotee there. In this way, one should always think of Krishna and his pastimes, not just by taking shelter. Taking shelter means following the instructions of an advanced devotee. Then he can always think of Krishna and his pastimes. This is further elucidated by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Krishnam smaranam janam achasya preshtam nijya samigitam tattat katha ratashchaso kuryad vasham vraje sada. A devotee should always reside in the transcendental realm of Raja and always engage in Krishnam smaran janam chasya preshtam, the remembrance of Shri Krishna and his beloved associates. By following in the footsteps of such associates and by entering under their eternal guidance, one can acquire an intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, there is a catch. The catch is when Rupa Goswami is saying the remembrance of Shri Krishna and his beloved associates, and by following in the footsteps of such associates. Now, following in the footsteps of which associates? How are we going to decide that? Who do we like? I don't know. What is our Swarupa? I don't know. So for that, Guru comes into picture. In the following the instruction, that's what his purpose said, take shelter of an advanced devotee. Means following the instructions of Guru, one should remember Krishna and his beloved associate, and by following in the footsteps of such associates, and by entering under the internal guidance, one can acquire an intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality of God. Not by following what my mind says. That will be wrong. Again, following a guru under the eternal guidance. But in that respect, actually, we are very fortunate. Because for us, Guru and this associate of Krishna, we can always take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. He's an associate of Krishna. Of course, we don't know what's his real position is, who he is, but at least as Prabhupada will follow him, we can follow his instructions and follow him personally also. And that's it. We don't have to go anywhere else. And just by following him, one can acquire an intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality of God. Again, Srila Rupa Goswami states in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Seva sadhaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahi tadabhav lipsuna karya vraja lokanusarat. In the transcendental realm of Brajdham, one should serve the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna with a feeling similar to that of his associates, and one should place himself under the direct guidance of a particular associate of Krishna and should follow in his footsteps. This method is applicable both in the stage of sadhana, spiritual practices executed while in the stage of bondage, and in the stage of sadhya, God realization, when one is a Siddha Purusha, or a spiritually perfect soul. So this method is applicable both ways, but place himself under the guidance, direct guidance of a particular associate of Krishna, and should follow in his footsteps. So we at least in ISKCON, we don't have to worry about anything else. That we might make a mistake. Just by following Prabhupada, we'll never make a mistake. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has commented as follows upon this verse. One who has not yet developed interest in Krishna consciousness should give up all material motives and train his mind by following the progressive regulative principles, namely chanting and remembering Krishna and his name, form, qualities, pastimes, and so forth. In this way, after developing a taste for such things, one should try to live in Vrindavan and pass his time constantly remembering Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, and qualities under the direction and protection of an expert devotee. This is the sum and substance of all instruction regarding the cultivation of devotional service. Now the question is not everybody is able to go and live in Vrindavan. So at least, as I said yesterday, all the temples, as Prabhupada said, wherever the deities are being served and names are being chanted, that's non-different from Vrindavan. And at least once in a while, one can try to go to Vrindavan, get the batteries charged, and come back and live thinking of Vrindavan. Like we always like to wear these t-shirts, I left my heart in Vrindavan. Literally, one can leave his heart in Vrindavan. So, and our philosophy actually is of separation. In the mood of separation, one thinks of that place and that person more affectionately. So in separation, once if we are there and then come back, and in separation, we think of Vrindavan and other places, Barsana, Nandagaon, Giraj, more fondly than if we are there. And thinking or missing in separation those places, we won't commit offenses also. So that's also one better part. But anyway, one should live, one should try to live as much time in Vrindavan as possible. And that too under the direction and protection of an expert devotee. And think of, always develop taste for Krishna's name, Krishna's form, pastimes, qualities, etc. In the neophyte stage, one should always engage in hearing Krishna Katha. This is called Shravan Dasha, the stage of hearing. By constantly hearing the transcendental holy name of Krishna and hearing of his transcendental form, qualities, and pastimes, one can attain to the stage of acceptance called Varan Dasha. When one attains this stage, he becomes attached to the hearing of Krishna Katha. When one is able to chant in ecstasy, he attains a stage of Smaran Avastha, the stage of remembering. Recollection, absorption, meditation, constant remembrance, and trance are the 5 items of progressive Krishna Smaran. At first, remembrance of Krishna may be interrupted at intervals, but later remembrance proceeds uninterrupted. When remembrance is uninterrupted, it becomes concentrated and is called meditation. When meditation expands and becomes constant, it's called anusmriti. By uninterrupted and unceasing anusmriti, one enters a stage of samadhi, the spiritual trance. After Smaran Dasha or samadhi has fully developed, the soul comes to understand its original constitutional position At that time, he can perfectly and clearly understand his eternal relationship with Krishna. That is called Sampati Dasha, the perfection of life. That's so the going from neophyte stage, one should always engage in hearing Krishna Katha. But that doesn't mean when we come to the stage of Bhava Prem, we stop hearing Krishna Katha. We always hear Krishna Katha. But the consciousness, the mood will be different, completely different. So from Shravan Dasha all the way to Samadhi or Sampatti, perfection. It just goes on. If we keep on hearing, keep on hearing, keep on hearing, and keep on cleansing our heart, then we can come to the stage of Raganuga stage. So it's not like from first day on or when we started a neophyte stage, we'll just have attachment for hearing and chanting. Not going to happen. It takes time. Now, how much time? There's a story during Akbar's time. So Akbar and Birbal, once they went early morning in December to take bath in Yamuna. And when Akbar Maharaj is there, then his servants are there, soldiers are there, and they make proper arrangement to warm up the water, little water on the side for Akbar to take bath. But Akbar saw one person was taking bath early morning in Yamuna, cold water in December. So Akbar called him, through Birbal, he called him then. How is he doing that? It's not possible. He must be getting some heat source. So Akbar, let me remember the story correctly. I think I'm forgetting some part. No, not Birbal, but other ministers said, no, he must be getting some source of heat. Otherwise, it's not possible. Anyway, so Akbar came back, and Akbar then made an announcement in his town that anybody, if I can find somebody who can take bath in Yamuna, that this cold weather, early morning, and they should be there without getting any heat from any source, then I'll give him so much of money as price. Okay, that person again came and he demonstrated that he can stand. But the other ministers, other than Birbal, they were very jealous. So they said, no, Maharaj, he was actually, we saw him, he was actually, there was a temple on the banks of Yamuna, and on top of temple there was a lamp that was burning, and he was looking at that lamp. So he was getting this heat from that lamp. So he did not fulfill all the conditions. So Akbar didn't give him the prize money. So that person went to Birbal. Birbal, Maharaj, please help me. Birbal said, okay, give me a few days. So Birbal, one of these days, he called Akbar at his house for lunch. So Akbar came, and because Birbal was one of his favorite ministers. And Birbal was talking with Akbar, and Akbar, after sitting there talking for half an hour or so, he said, Birbal, where is the lunch? Birbal went inside and he said, oh, it's getting prepared. Please wait some more time. And they were kept at talking. Another half an hour passed. Akbar was getting anxiety, he was getting anxious. Birbal, where is lunch? I'm hungry. Birbal went inside. Oh, Maharaj, a little bit more time. It's getting prepared. So after half an hour more talking, Akbar could not. He said, let me go inside, check where is this lunch being prepared. Why is it taking so long? So he went inside. Birbal had this pot of khichdi on the ground. Oh, I'm sorry, on the high up, and there was fire, little fire on the ground. And Akbar said, what nonsense. You have to bring the pot of khichdi down, put it on the fire, then it will cook. Birbal said. So you think this pot of khichdi, this is pretty big fire. It will not cook like this? A person, no. The Birbal said, how is that, how in the world that person was going to get heat from that little lamp on the banks of Yamuna on the roof of a temple? You think he would have gotten the heat from that and survived in Yamuna? So Akbar understood his fault and he gave that prize money to that man. But how is it connected to us? So if we are gonna, yes, we are doing some bhakti, but if we keep the part of heart away, too far away, or if the flame is too low, bhakti, then how is the khichdi of Krishna Prem gonna be cooked? So we have to bring the pot closer to the fire, raise up the fire of devotion service. If we have to chant, chant more, chant, read more, hear more, serve more, then we'll get some results. We have to put in our effort. That's why it's famous. Birbal ki khichdi, it's famous because it's not going to be cooked until we really make an effort. And then the mercy will follow. Of course, it will be cooked by the mercy of Prabhupada, but the mercy will follow if we show sincerity, show determination. Utsaha, Nishya, Dharya. Goswami said that. So further Prabhupada writes, Chaitanya Charitamrita advises those who are neophytes to give up all kinds of motivated desires and simply engage in the regulative devotional service of the Lord according to the directions of scriptures. So according to the directions of scriptures, not make up our own directions. In this way, a neophyte can gradually develop attachment for Krishna's name, fame, form, qualities, and so forth. When one has developed such attachment, he can spontaneously serve the lotus feet of Krishna, even without following the regulative principles. This stage is called Raga Bhakti or devotional service and spontaneous love. That is Raga Bhakti or Raga Nuga Bhakti. At that stage, the devotee can follow in the footsteps of one of the eternal associates of Krishna in Vrindavan. This is called Raganuga. Raganuga, spontaneous devotion service, can be executed in the Shantras when one aspires to be like Krishna's cow, or the stick of flute in the hands of Krishna, or the flowers around Krishna's neck. In the Dasaras, when one follows in the footsteps of servants like Chitrak, Patrak, or Ratak. In the friendly Sakyaras, when one can become a friend like Baldev, Sridham, or Sudama. In the Vatsalyaras, characterized with parental affection, one can become like Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. And in the Madhuryaras, characterized with conjugal love, one can become like Srimati Radharani or her lady friends such as Lalita and her serving maids, Manjaris, like Rupa Manjari and Rati Manjari. This is the essence of all instructions in the matter of devotion service. You see, it's here it is, Prabhupada is not writing, one can become Radharani, one can become Maharaja, Nanda Maharaja, one can become like Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, like Srimati Radharani, like Lalita, like Rupa and Rati Manjari. Means we cannot replace them, we are not going to become like them. We are become like them. We can become like them. We can serve like them, but not become them. So this is a difference, but it can grow. We can grow that in our heart, that kind of bhakti. It's not impossible. We just have to work hard. And this is Raga Nuga Bhakti. Following the footsteps of one of the eternal associates of Krishna in Vrindavan. Now, why did I say that we have very simple, we just follow Srila Prabhupada. Who's Prabhupada? I don't know. Among all this, I don't know in which mood Prabhupada is with Krishna. But one thing for sure, He is a Rupanuga. He is a follower of Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari. And everybody in ISKCON is under his protection, under his guidance. If we follow properly, even in the spiritual world, we can be under his guidance serving. So it's the one thing about spiritual world. We don't directly go and serve Radharani or Krishna. We serve under whichever person. So for us, it is Rupa Goswami or we are Rupa Nugas. So his eternal form is of Rupa Manjari. So we serve under Rupa Manjari. We serve under her guidance, Srimati Radharani, Krishna, and other gopis like Lalita and Vishnu. So under Rupa Goswami, following the group of Srila Prabhupada, whatever Prabhupada's name is there. So we don't have to go here, there, just follow Prabhupada. That's all. So, but see how the instruction, we are still at 8th verse. Now we can completed the purport of 8th verse. From 1st verse to 8th verse, Rupa Goswami, how high he has taken to Raga Noga Bhakti. And there are 3 more verses left. What else is going to talk about? From Vacho Vegam, Manasa Garodha Vegam, if we can control that, and then the 6 doshas, then the 6 gunas, and further on how to differentiate between different kind of devotees, how to follow the devotees, and this, come to this stage. If we follow it properly, follow everything properly, we can come to the stage of Raga Noga. So that's why this book is very, very important, very powerful. We should just go over these purports again and again. Whenever it's a very small book, whenever we get a chance, just go over these purports. We'll definitely get different realizations every time we read. Okay, I guess we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments? Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada.